evening, people. It is Bonnie again, and today I'm going to talk about the currency that we used to use before dollars and cents. It used to be pound, shilling, and pence. We have a £1 note. Half of it would be a 10 shilling paper, which is a blue color. We would have a 5 shilling paper, which would be red. And we would also have a £5 note. Have a look, a reddish color too. We have kinds like 25-cent piece, 2 shilling piece, 1 shilling, 6 pence, twopence, penny, and half penny. It used to be farthing before, but I never used to spend any farthing. No. One of the pound always contained 20 shillings. One of these shillings could go to the shop and buy £2 of flour, and you would get back change, like 2 pence change. You could go with a shilling and buy £1 of flour and £1/4 of saltfish. We could buy 12 bulla with one of the shilling, which one of the pound really can have 20 shilling, and one of the shilling have 12 pence. 12 penny make 1 shilling. We have 6 pence that could buy a pound of rice in a certain time, you know. So to be truthful, the money that you spend to buy £1 of flour now, right now, in those days, you could buy £60 of flour. So we have to expect a lot of changes still. But the kinds and the pound did have so much value that when you go to a shop with a 5 shilling paper, in those days you could fill a nice little box, you know. If you go with a pound, people would go to a shop on a weekend time with a pound paper and come back with them big bags at grocery, you know. So it used to be pound, shilling, and pence. Now one of these penny out of the shilling could buy one big bulla that them selling now is about $100. Shilling could buy 12 big bulla in those days, and we did have half penny. 24 half penny would make 1 shilling. 24 half penny. In those days they would sell half penny cake. They would cut one of the penny cake in two and sell half of it for half penny. Well, when a big difference came, it was 1969 when the pound, shilling, and pence changed to dollars and cents, because it makes such a drastic change and move that we could use the shilling today to buy the 12 bulla, and tomorrow when the dollars came, we could only buy 10 bulla with the money that represent the shilling. That would be the $10, you know. The $10 kind would come like a shilling, but the exact morning, we could buy it with the shilling yesterday and today. So if you did have a lot of money, it make a lot of change, it drop a lot, you know. Yeah, because out of every pound, they take out 22 pence. 22 pence. That would be 40 pence they take out of the pound when we get the dollars and cents, you know. So it's a big difference with the pound, shilling, and pence and the dollars and cents. Though it used to be harder for people to get money in those days, but the money was really stronger, carry a lot of value, far different from now. Yes, we could buy a tin of bull beef for about 3 shilling 4 shilling. You could buy a big bread, 2 shilling, 1 shilling. Buy bread for 6 pence, chopence. Go to the shop with the chopence. This money have some little corner around the edge. 3 penny in it. Could buy 2 big bulla. Sometimes we buy penny butter and put between this bulla. Sometimes we buy bulla and cheese. You know, but this money was so good and vital. Now, with the inflation that going up here now, the dollars that we're spending, boy, we really have to have a lot of them, you know, to keep yourself going, because things are so expensive. And if somebody been working for 5 years without getting any raise of pay, and every day things been raising, 100 item raise, and your pay don't raise, then it's really hard to cope with, to cope with, you know, to live with. It was 1962 when we got independence. Before independence, I remember when Bustamante used to be ruling. I think he was the one that was ruling that same in that time too. This was a time when Jamaica people really get so excited, children and adults, because Independence Day, which was in 1962, August 1962, the children have so much fun. We get a lot of things from the ministry. We get cups, we get plates, we get toys. We play all type of games that we never even know about before. We get our national flag. That was a time to remember. Everybody have a Jamaica flag, waving, waving. It was something new for us. That time I was about 11. Yeah, 1962. And we get they have ring game at school. Them have maypole. The girls them would go around and dance and plot some things. All kind of excitement, exciting things take place during the independence. And people were so glad to know that we were going to be independent. But to be frank, all wasn't independent, you know. A lot of people just built the name that they were really independent. But a lot of people couldn't make it on their own. Anyway, I was at Water Valley School on Independence Day when a lot of people came from ministry, drive a lot of different vehicles with a lot of things. They cook special food the day, and you know, yes, but people was very excited because they were thinking that this independent would be something better, you know. And people always want to get something better, you know. Coming from way back down to slavery days and coming way to property days, and when people have to work for just a penny a day and all these things, you know. So people, when they hear about something new, them easily gravitate to it, hold on to it, and say, well, boy, let me try it, independent. I don't know if it worked for everyone, but it worked for some. Yeah, that was 1962, the 6th of August. Because before this, the holiday that we used to celebrate in August, that would be the 1st of August. We call that Emancipation Day. That is the day when the slave were free from slavery. So whenever time it reached back to that date, they would celebrate it as Emancipation Day. Well, from they changed that holiday to 6 August, Independence. You know, even though some people still appreciate them 1st of August. Yes, because it was a very good move that day when the people was released from the chain, 1st of August. Yeah. So there's a whole lot more history coming from way behind these. Some that we only hear about and so and some we read about. Yes. But we come a far way because we're really coming from a far way too. We're coming from far. Because as a little boy, when before independence, before 62, 1962, before we got independent, a lot of people used to be living in wackle house. Some of the houses were ground floor. These people would use a wackle. They would have a post on this side and a post on that side. And the wackle is a piece of bamboo, a round bamboo stick that would split it up in small pieces, a little wider than this. Then we would put it like this, from one stick to the other stick, from the bottom, and put it just same way, come right up until it reach to the top. So people would live in bamboo house, wackle house. Sorry I didn't have the bamboo here to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But thatch, coconut limb, is what a lot of people used to use for the roof. So they would wackle the house and use the coconut limb to pack on the top of the house as their roof. Yes, and some people do it so good, no matter how the rain fall, they wouldn't get wet inside of this. Natural ground floor. When them use a little broom, sometimes they use broom weed and make them broom and sweep it clean and look, pretty. Yes. So these people really coming from far. Black people, Jamaican people. Some of the whole people them. With real old time people them. Along with the wackle they know and the thatch, people used to mostly look good because there wasn't any gas stove in the early days much, and make them wood fire, cook whatever them cooking. Then them have a kitchen outside, also wackle with the bamboo and also thatch with the coconut limb. Yeah, and that's where they would cook them food, sometimes sit down and eat and all these kind of things. So there was a time when we didn't have any electricity and all the people would have to buy some lamps, shade lamp, and the shade would mark home, sweet home, most of the shades. Or some people would buy some very little lamps, we call them tilly lamp. You just throw the oil into it and it have a little wick and a little thing, a little angle, you hold it and light it. That's how people used to see. Not everybody have the shade lamp in those days that mark home sweet home. Some people just have a little tilly lamp. Yes. Now, it's a lot of things. Because people never have any radio. The earliest thing that we know about, it was a thing they call fusion, radio fusion. And it had only one station. It was RJR. And we would have a string coming from wherever, whether Portmore or wherever, to this era where we are now. And that string would connect, people would have this connected to the fusion with a piece of wire connect to that main wire, and the fusion would play in them house. Just one station, something. Nothing like TV wasn't in existence in them time there, them place, So, nighttime, people always sit down and listen, and them fusion. If you hear that boxing I go come tonight, everybody gather up to go listen boxing. When cricket I go play, everybody gather up fusion to listen the boxing, the cricket, and whatever sport activity you go on, That is, I go announce on the radio. People sit down. We did have Miss Louise Bennett and Mass Ran. Them always come with some nice little episode there too, you know, some nice little thing. And before the fusion, I mean, there wasn't anything at all. Maybe you used to get him talk about that thing then called gramophone. We don't really know about that much, you know. Yes. In the early days, some of them will love music. They make them own kind of instrument from with a bucket, bamboo. Some make saxophone, some make them fife and, you know, play a lot of music and, you know, now them days they don't have the real guitar available in them areas, yeah. Except for a man they down there, so name is Sammy Preps. He did have a real good saxophone. He was a real good saxophonist, you know. He go all about, go blow and play him thing. In them days there, too, it's different because children, even me and my cousin them, would have to go like our bush. All of the kids in the community, because all of us used to have some duty to do, morning time, evening time, and so on. Compulsory duty, we must have to do it. We have to go tie out goat, we have to feed pig, who them thing there. Weekend days, me and my friend them from all about in the community, we'd have to go look wood, with a look wood, and we are coming with the real log wood. We split them, you see them red. Yes, that's how we look wood a weekend time. The girls them would have to there and then wash them clothes, them wash plate, clean up the house, help carry water too. Me help carry water too. But we did all of duty, you know, so we wasn't a lazy set of kids. Sometime holiday time, my uncle then that kill a pig, and the next neighbor that kill a goat, and sometimes we send a piece of the pig over there so, and you come up with a piece of the goat from over there so, and people used to live like that in them days there. This man kill a pig, that one to kill a goat, that one to kill something else, and them share with them one another, you know. People used to work together. In the early days when me see all my uncle them used to work, them have a thing what they call working. Plenty men, all 13, 15 men gather together that day if you go one man bush go work. So when them go to know, sometimes some women go with them over cook and so. And when the man they done work that day, man, no ask, it's a big piece of farm the people them put up with a bill, fork, plant, them do everything sometimes, you know. Just go there and start it and plant it out same time. Yeah man. But there was much more unity. The men they used to unite more. Them all carry them rum garbage sometime and them drink and them have good time and you know. Unity. Next week, them go to the next man own. And the other week, they go to a next man own. That's how them try and used to build themselves, you know. Cooperating together. Yes. So okay then people. Bye. Until the next time.